Hi Taurus, welcome to your September 2018 General Tarot reading. It's Rena here. So I did do this reading earlier today. I'm doing an entirely different spread. I don't know quite what happened. I had done several in a row and I might have referenced a different sign during the reading, but I know it was for Taurus. However, there was more than one person that was confused, so I just think it's best if I do it over again, because there's no need to, maybe there was something that was a bit off because of that. So we shall go back to the drawing board here. I think I don't know, was that your sign that I got the Ten of Pentacles the first time? So, if that's the case, that would be very interesting. Not sure. No, I don't think it was your sign, come to think of it. But anyway, let's look at the heart of the matter. We have the Eight of Pentacles. This could be like what's really on your mind in September, which is working. But it's not just working. It could be that you are training for some type of position. This is the Apprentice card, but this can be a money card because, I mean, obviously it's Pentacles. It can be money, but 8 is a number of power. So there's a sense of whatever you're doing, you're really trying to empower yourself to get to that state. We have the Eight of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles, so it's a good money month in that sense. And you might be training for a certain certification or a credential that allows you to make more money, you know what I mean? So it might be for that purpose. It can also be, to me, like some of this looks like a personal relationship. So it also can be that you're trying to work on your marriage and the equivalent of a marriage or committed partnership. And for instance, there may be some of you Taurus people, especially if you're a woman, but this is just like a double feminine energy. So even a male Taurus, you may be like, really getting these psychic hits that something is not quite right in your marriage. And you're trying to do your part to make it right. And the challenge, this could be the other person. The Empress card is actually connected to your sign, as well as Libra in the form of Venus, the planet Venus. I wonder if there was a Venus symbol here somewhere. I think somebody told me once there was. I don't see it. I see that cross. So I have a chip on that card, by the way. But, this could be like a, for a lack of a better term, a shameless hussy that you might feel is stealing your man away. But I'll tell you something. It's important that, like with the Queen of Cups, you may be seeing things in a subjective way, the way that you want to see them. And I could totally see like a Taurus woman kind of coming down on the other woman and seeing her as a temptress and somebody who is trying to steal her partner away, when the focus should be on your partner and what they are doing, and what they're not doing, so if they're not being faithful, that's on them. And it doesn't matter how many people are out there who are trying to, entice this person. They have made a vow to you, or they are in a committed relationship with you, a monogamous relationship. And if they're not keeping up their end of it, that's on them. And so, in other words, don't get sucked into that typical thing where you're fighting where you have two women fighting for a man that is cheating. Oh gosh, you know, it's really sad to me that happens in the first place, but that's what happens when people don't feel like they, you know, that they deserve to have somebody to themselves. That's really what that's about. Because if that happened to me, and I've had, like, you know, not in my current relationship, but in the past, when I found out that somebody that I was seeing, you know, called this person up and somebody else answered, that was it. And there was no fighting or anything. I was just like, bye. See you later. It's like, I'm not interested in that type of relationship, and I'm not interested in the dynamic and the game of, like, fighting for somebody who's cheating, or who, if they're not cheating, who is talking to somebody who's maybe their ex, or, because that's what it was in my case, or just they have an interest in somebody else. Go to them. You know what I mean? It's really, like, when you think about it, it's actually very simple, but our egos get involved, and we become, maybe we question ourselves and say, am I good enough? And you can't go there. You can never go there. If you have a female boss, which a Queen of Cups can be, she may be somebody who is encouraging you. I mean, this is a very kind-hearted person. She could be encouraging you to better yourself, and you might even see her as a second mother. And it's possible that your own mother, that you're on the outs with her. And that can be a very, you know, sad situation, but you have this other person who's here for you and who's encouraging you to do better in your life. There could even be, like, unplanned pregnancy or something that is, you know, causing problems, if this is on your end, where you feel like, uh-oh, now what do I do? Because you might even be enrolled in a program and you found out you're pregnant. And it can be a situation where you don't know exactly whether you should quit the training, or if you should just, yeah, something like that, because you might feel that the pregnancy will get in the way with it. The higher message is the Wheel of Fortune. And this means that if you feel kind of like all over the place, you're actually aligned with the universe. You're aligned with your cycles. But maybe it's a transition period. I think in that other reading I got something along the same lines. So basically, there may be something coming to a head. When I look at cycles, we look at full moons and new moons, and you are having a full moon in your sign at the end of October. So it could be that something kind of comes to a head or a conclusion about yourself and the direction you're going in. And that maybe now you don't really know what it is, but it's all about deciding for yourself where you want to go next, Taurus, because we also have here the Hermit card, which is a card of looking within. So maybe you've been doing a lot of, I mean, it's funny, I was going to say soul searching, but with this card you may have this kind of a hunch that something is going on. But the Hermit card is really about taking the time to look within and see what is important in your life. You have Uranus recently entered your sign, and this is going to shake things up for Taurus, which is a fixed earth sign. And you love your routines, you love the predictability of life, where another person would go, oh gosh, you know, I'm so tired of the monotony of life. You love that kind of constancy. And this is going to change in the next for the next 7 years. You're going to have a lot of changes to you, and if you welcome them with open arms, you will see that there can be a lot of exciting things coming your way. But the Hermit card is really about getting in touch with your inner self and what your real core values are and needs are, not what other people's needs are. Maybe you need to do some soul searching. And if this is about a relationship, it's also about like being honest with yourself. If you've been involved with somebody who is cheating and you know it, maybe you're looking the other way, maybe you're not looking the other way, but you just haven't confronted this person because you don't know what else to do after that. And, you know, in some cases, if you're pregnant as well, that can really be the kick in the pants too, because then you're like, oh gosh, that, you know, that just adds to everything. What's coming in is represented by the Five of Cups, and this is about kind of grieving a loss. So chances are either you or another party will part ways, and this can be due to a feeling of, you know, sadness that something didn't work out. One thing that I wanted to say too about a workplace situation is that there may be greed at a workplace situation. And when I say greed, I mean like that you're not being treated like a human being, that you're being treated just like a machine. And you're trying to please the boss, but this person is never satisfied. And they want you to work longer for the same money. And you feel that you might feel that that's unfair, and you might realize that you have to leave. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to leave, but you feel that sense of sadness that it didn't work out, and the outcome is the Ten of Pentacles. So there's some kind of money, whether it's the family helping you out. This is family money, so it could be inheritance, or just somebody from your family, like a parent, bailing you out, or asking you to work for them, or just giving, you know, lending a helping hand if it's not an inheritance issue. But this is also about financial prosperity. So maybe there's this sense, if this is a workplace situation, of leaving, you know, realizing that you need to leave, and then it leads to you having even more money than you had before. That's not, I don't think that's very uncommon. I think that when people have the guts to take a chance, if you will, it's really not, you know, I'm certainly not somebody who encourages people to do risky things, especially when it comes to staying alive. But if you have like an opportunity even come your way that you were maybe a little bit reticent to embrace, you might find that it's very financially lucrative. Because with the Wheel of Fortune, it's almost, in the spiritual position, it's almost like saying that the universe has your back. And maybe you've been working towards something and feeling that sense of disappointment that something else didn't work out, but it you know, all's well that ends well. In terms of relationship issues, again, grieving a loss, maybe the loss of a dream. You thought that you were going to be with this person forever, and you're not, but you bounce back. You have family support, for instance. And if you're, you know, pregnant as well, that can really help to have that support at this time. Okay, well, that's what I have for you, Taurus. And if anybody watched the first one, I do apologize for any mix-up. But in any case, if you would like a personal reading, I will link it below. Have a wonderful September. Bye.